Hello and welcome to On Your Lane, the best place for ambitious people who are taking charge of their lives, making that impact, making that money, and living our best lives. Hello. And today we're going to talk about ideas being divine. Give me a minute. This has been a game changing concept for me. I usually have a lot of ideas, and sometimes I'm just like, okay, this is crazy. And recently, I have learned to write them down. Write the ideas down. I don't know when I'll implement, I don't know when they'll come through, but just write them down. Just download them somewhere and I'll get back to them soon. Now, I was noticing that when you look at creation, most animals are affected by their environment, right? So when the weather changes, some animals migrate to different areas. Zebras migrate, birds migrate because they can't control their environment. Humans, on the other hand, have power. We can think about how the weather affects us and then adapt to it. We can create houses, we can have heaters, we can have fans, air conditioning. What we're doing is making that environment conducive to us. That's the power of humanity. That's the power of being human, and that's the divinity. That is the divine aspect that God instilled in humans. That's the spirit. So every person has the power to create because God imparted that power when He made us. And the power to create means ideas will come, ideas will flow. And when we don't realize that having ideas is our creative power that is coming from our spirit, our godliness, we can really just take it lightly, like I did for the longest time. Many people would tell me, my friends would say, well, you just love to dream, you just are full of ideas, and all these ideas seem impossible. But look at it. Think about the person who invented the plane, right? The Wright brothers. They were ridiculous. Nobody believed they could, like, fly. What? Are we birds? There's a reason we can't fly. There's a reason we don't have feathers, so we can't fly. Think about Thomas Edison. Is it the light guy? Think about that. Or like, no candles? Like, what are you talking about? We use candles for lighting. Think about Ford, the first automobile. People believed that everybody would use horses forever. Horses were it for transportation. And he was like, no, there could be cars and they'll be affordable for everyone. And people were like, yeah, crazy person. I'm sure he was like in his neighborhood, people would be like, don't go to that house. There's that crazy person who believes that people can have cars. There are those crazy boys who believe that people will be able to fly. There are those crazy people who think that we can have light. So every technology that has made our lives different has involved people having this creative power. Like, I wonder, like gravity, the law of gravity, the law of lift, all these laws that govern our space. People sit and understand them and create things. Not all of us are going to create planes, but we have ideas that make our livelihood better, that can make our communities better, that can employ 2 people, 7 people, 20 people. We can impact generations that come after us through ideas. And that's how divine ideas are. Because God is a creator, He made humans part of that. We are co-creators, right? So that gives me some sort of responsibility. When I don't love my reality, I'm like, what can I change? What can I create? When I am moved by the plight of people in my community, I think, how can I support that? What can be done in that situation to make their lives better? That is the creative power of humans. We understand this creative power, right? We understand this divinity within us. Then what next? The problem that came to me after understanding is, how do I then master myself? Because in spite of the greatness of the potential that is within me to create and make life amazing for myself and others, it's just funny how just a small distraction can take me off that path of creating. Right? So imagine you are one of the Wright brothers, or whatever brothers you are named. You are about to create this thing that will transform transportation forever. And then a notification on your phone. Of course, they had no phones then, but just go with me. A notification on your phone. And then you leave your workshop and you're just there exploring all day. The creation ends there. What happened there? You got distracted. And that's what happens to us. That's what happened to me. I have creative power, but then I have this weakness also the physical weakness that pulls me back to comfort, that pulls me back to safety, that doesn't want risks, right? So we have to get to a place where we can master self. I read a book, Atomic Habits, where it says just improving 1% per day in anything that you want to improve in will lead to tremendous improvement over a year. I don't know the exact number, but it was just 1% improvement a day. So the habits that master us, right? How we live our day, the things that prevent us from actualizing our creative ability, we can overcome them by mastering, by day improving 1% a day, improving slowly, consistency over intensity, right? So the Wright brothers or whoever else you admire that has created something, they didn't just go all out one day. Let's not sleep 24 hours, we're working on this project, will be done. No, you have to be consistent. And that consistency means discipline, and discipline means you're mastering yourself. You're aware of your weaknesses, you're aware of your flaws, you're aware of the distractions, you're choosing to transcend above them. Can you do that? I struggled with that because as a person, I love freedom. And I had these ambitions, right, to achieve so much great things, to build this empire that will employ people, an empire that will solve problems in my community in Africa. And then at the same time, I just didn't want to be bogged down by routine. I wanted excitement every corner of my life. So this desire for spontaneity contradicted my desire to achieve. And the desire for spontaneity was just amazing because you're like, I don't want to work. I don't want to. I just want to be free. So my friend calls me and we're out. We're going to have fun. We're traveling, right? But over time, you find that that creative ability wants to come out and it will cause frustration. This frustration you can respond to by acknowledging your weaknesses, your flaws, your distractions, and then developing a system that says, okay, how can I get accountability that helps me stick to what I want to stick to what I want to progress in, to what I want to create? Or you can just stifle it, stifle that creativity. And over time, it gets really quiet. The frustration gets really numbing, and then you forget. It doesn't feel as painful. It doesn't get uncomfortable as much. All right. So this uncomfortable, this frustration becomes your normal, and then you just get in the zone where you complain about things but don't do anything about them. Right. So mastering self is key to us unfolding this creativity. And this 10,000 hours thing that Malcolm Gladwell talks about, you know that it takes 10,000 hours of practice to achieve mastery and expertise at anything. That is discipline, right? That's really discipline. You can be amazing at so many things if you give it time, if you give them time to improve and never stop. And how can you improve? That means you're doing it daily. And doing things daily can be boring. But when you have your eyes on the prize and you understand the power that you carry as a creative being, the divinity of the ideas that you carry, and the fact that your ideas can liberate so many people, can open doors for so many people, then you're fired up to get things done. Being a person of faith also really came into play for me in a big way. Why? Because I understand that God does amazing things, God saves people, God supports people, but God doesn't come down. People support people. When God wants to work, He chooses people He can work with, work through. People who are willing to do the work, who are willing to stand away and stand out, who are willing to be separated from crowds and the noise and the normal and the average. He uses those people to pass on his ideas for liberating the world or answering prayers. So God is looking for somebody he can whisper a solution to. But he's going to test you. He's going to test your resolve. So if he gives you an idea today, a simple idea, it can make you some money and it can help you and maybe answer the problems that you have, and you don't step up for it for yourself, then he actually knows this person cannot step up for themselves. Chances are they won't be able to step up for anybody else. But if you're diligent in your personal life, you have an idea, you follow through, you do your budget, you do your reviews, you have accountability, you fail, you get up, you take the lesson, and you keep moving. That is discipline. You're building resilience, character, integrity. And in that way, bigger ideas are on your way. Bigger ideas are coming to you because God is keenly looking down, looking who can help, which channel, who can be a channel for impact, who can be a channel for elevating people who are in different situations or people who are struggling in different scenarios. But can you be reliable? Do you have ideas that you can follow through? Can you take it end to end? Can you persevere? Can you have tenacity? Can people talk negatively about you and you keep going? Or do you live for people's approval? Or can you sometimes just get off? I'm not saying you'll be perfect and you just be like, I am perfect, I'm not moved. No, that's not possible. You're human. But do your down times override your up times? So 20% downtime, 30% downtime is fine. That means the majority of the time you're still up, you're still pursuing. So you can rest when you're tired, you can cry when you're broken, but after that you get up and you keep moving. Right? Why? Because you understand ideas are divine. And ideas being divine means you can pull, right? You can pull people up with you, with your ideas. But ideas mean nothing without execution. And that's where most of us really struggle, right? God will give you the idea, it's divine. Execution is really also God's part because He will tell you the strategy, but really now on the ground, it's you with your discipline. It is you with realizing what must be done and stepping up to the plate to get it done. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. What then must we do? Do you have ideas? Do they seem ridiculous? Are they beyond your capability? Are they beyond your resources? Awesome. You're in good company. But what can you do in the present time to cultivate this? Get more information. Surround yourself with people who are also pursuing ideas, who are building on ideas. Because many people, the majority of people, love to get ideas and either criticize them or just keep them or just pile them, debate on them, but not do anything. So if you are around those people, and I used to be one of those people who would just criticize and analyze and do projections and do nothing, it's really, really contagious. Don't be around people like that. I'm not saying cut them off forever. I'm just saying limit the time you expose your ideas to them. Limit the time you spend with them, right? So when you have these amazing ideas, write them down and then get more information. Can you read a book? Can you watch a YouTube video? Can you take a course online? What can you do to get more information about your idea and how it can be implemented? There is a time for ideas to be implemented and there's a time to just learn and explore. Know the difference. Of course, you know those differences with time and error. So if you have great ideas that you want to implement or execute, start small and collect data, right? So when you have implemented, there'll be data that is coming in on how it's doing, how people feel about it, your clients or your customers or your friends, whoever it is, get the feedback and bring it back to your idea to improve it. Again, ideas mean nothing if you don't execute. I hope this was helpful to you. It has been transformational for me. I have my book of ideas where I write all these ideas because I understand some ideas I don't have to do them today. I have those that I can implement today and then those I can implement in the future. In the meantime, what can I do? I cultivate the right habits. I cultivate resilience. I cultivate discipline, right? I cultivate commitment. I cultivate creativity, innovation. I keep learning, I keep growing. At the right time, when this growth that I'm cultivating, this structure that I'm building meets that idea, or that idea matures, that is where greatness happens. And I wish you all the greatness that you can cultivate from your ideas, which are totally, totally divine. So, what do you think? Share your comments, DM me on all the socials. I'm available. Like this video, share it to somebody who will find it useful. Give me feedback. I love hearing from you. I love hearing your ideas and how you're executing. See you next time.